Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm here today with my first creative team, guest creative team, or design team, whichever you want to call it, project for Clear Scraps. This is oh, you can't see it. Sorry. This is the Heart Shaker. So I'm super excited for that. The acrylic part is crystal clear. It's just right now I have the protective coating on both sides. I still have that on there because I'm just gonna do that last. But it has three cutout pieces and then one solid. So you're gonna glue two on there to put your shaker bits in there, glue on your clear topper and then your top frame. So right now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and ink around the edges with some red ink. If I can find my, let me get a paper towel ready because I already know. So for those of you who follow me, you already know that I do not like to get my hands messy. And so inking around on something makes me a little nervous. Oh goodness. Because I don't like to touch anything that's messy. So for those of you who don't follow me, I know you're thinking, okay, most designers for Clear Scraps, they love mixed media mediums like inks and paste and gels and whatnot. My designs are going to be different. Inking is about the only mixed media that I do. I mean, I don't even think that's considered mixed media, but yeah, it's going to be different. But it's also going to challenge me to get out of my comfort zone because I love, love, love when people use different mediums when they're doing paper crafting or, you know, DIY or whatever. Oh gosh. Debbie Adams, who is Deborah Adams Creative Life, she's done this heart and it was so gorgeous and she painted it. So you can do this anyway. But also for those of you who've been with me since the beginning know that my favorite color is tan. So for me, I could have just taken this out of the package, added my picture and my sugar bits, and I would have been perfectly happy with that. It would have been beautiful. But I wanted to do just a little something extra. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. I'm going to go wash my hands. Okay, after it dried, I decided I wanted it to be a little bit more red. So I'm kind of just pouncing the ink on now as opposed to rubbing it in. And look at how cool my towel looks. Isn't that fun? Okay, so now I have to let this dry and then come back and do the next part. Okay, so while that's drying, what you're going to do is go ahead and take whatever color paper you're using. In this case, I'm using Real Red. And you're going to punch out 3 layers of either a scallop circle, a flower punch, or a flower die, scallop die. You could even use a regular circle. Just the scallops will give it a little extra fluffiness. These are the flowers that I love to make out of any round shape really, or any flowers. And I call these trash flowers only because the next step, what you want to do is slightly wet them and you want to crumple it like trash. So the tighter the crumple, the more wrinkles equals a fluffier flower. So I already did all those, but you're just going to continue on with this process until all of them are done. I do 3 layers, sometimes 4, but for this case, I'm going to do 3 layers per flower. So, you know, you don't want your flowers to be soaking wet. These ones I probably put a little bit too much water, but that's okay because I'm going to do all the layers right here. You want to open up your layers. There are some drops of water on my mat, so I just use those instead of misting these. But you do want to open up your layers before they dry all the way. It just makes it easier to open them when they're still a little bit damp. If you do this step and then, you go do laundry or your kids need you or whatever the case may be, just slightly re-wet them. See, your hands will turn the color of the paper. But give those last ones a second to dry, and then you're going to open it. Now, if your paper rips during opening, that means you just got your paper too wet. Let it dry a little bit, but you can still use a ripped layer because you're not going to be able to see it with all the wrinkles of the layers. So don't worry about it if it gets too wet. Just, give it a chance to dry a little bit. Some of these I'm adding more wrinkles. Like I was saying, the more wrinklier, the fluffier your flower will be. So you're just going to go ahead and continue on and open all of them. Okay. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so all of my layers are done. Now I'm making 10 flowers. And honestly, I don't remember if I already told you guys. All I did was when I punched them out, I just put it around the heart to see approximately how many flowers this may take. It was 9, and I decided to make 10 because, they're going to shrink. So at this point, I'm going to pick out the 10 most wrinkly flowers, and those are going to be my top layers. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. These are my most wrinklies. So these are going to be my top layers. I just like the most wrinkly on top. You may like the most wrinkly on the bottom. Okay, so each flower needs to have 3 layers. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 2 more on each of these, like so. And you're just going to do all of them, okay? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my flowers. You can line them up exactly, or you can offset them. I offsetted them a little bit. And you're going to take just a regular stapler. It doesn't matter what size stapler. I do have the tiny ones, but I don't know where it is right now. So I'm just going to use this little stapler here, and I'm just going to put a staple right in the middle, like so. And I'm going to do that for all of my flowers, okay? So here's this one. I offset it just a little bit, like I offset the scallops. I try to get the staple in the middle, but as you can see, that one was very high. It's not going to really matter. To me anyway, it doesn't really matter. But you're just going to go through and do that for all 10 flowers. Okay, so now that we have all of our flowers layered and stapled, now all we're going to do is layer by layer, crumple it back up around that staple. Okay, so just kind of push it in there like so. You can use some decorative brads in the middle if you prefer. And they, they will peep through. So, like for instance, this one, you cannot see that. You can tiny bit see the staple when I kind of move it this way. You see the little shimmer. I just kind of close it up so you can't see it at all. But if you have a decorative brad instead of a staple, you can just open your flower a little bit so that little brad can show through. That'd be pretty too. Staple for me is just easier. It's quicker. So now that you have it all crumpled up, now you're just going to take your thumb and just kind of go around the edges and just kind of make it look like a flower shape. Okay? That's all you're going to do. I'll show you again. So layer by layer. So here's layer 1. Just kind of smush it around. Now you're going to find yourself smushing it in a square. But just kind of make it, round. It's okay if you tear it off the staple a little bit. Sometimes I do, just by accident. Just trying to make it more round than square. And then just fluff it out. You know, just make it look like a flower. You can do this with any size scallop circle, any flower punch, any flower die, anything like that. It's all the same concept. It'll just, depending on what shape you have, it'll make it look like different flowers. These ones kind of look like carnations to me. So I've used, you know, several different punches and dies to make these flowers. All right, so I'll show you this last one and then I'll do the rest off camera, but you're just going to continue, and you can, you know, do all of that part and come back to them and then fluff them, or, you know, scrunch and fluff on the same time, or whatever, however you want to do. You're just going to get the same end result. So here we go. So I'm just separating the layers just to crunch them back up together, just to separate them again. And you're looking for wrinkles. This is why we're crumpling and fluffing and crumpling again and smoothing, because you want the wrinkles to make it look like a more realistic flower. Okay, so there we go. So that's all you're going to do. You're going to continue with all of them until you are done with all 10 flowers, or however many flowers you're going to make. Okay, so all of mine are done, and I'm kind of laying them around the heart, and I think I'm going to need one more flower. But you know, that's up to you how you want them. I don't want any gaps on mine, and so I'm just kind of laying them before I glue them, just to see what I'm going to need. Oh, that looks cute with just half. Ooh, I really like that. I know I saw that's trending where they just have like a half decorated and then they have this solid wood. Oh, wait a minute. I kind of like that. Let's see. See, if you want like a more rustic look, you can do that. I'm just going to lay these so you can just kind of visualize that. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's try this again. Obviously when they're glued, it's a lot easier, but I kind of like this. The half. With the raw edge. I like that. Okay, but that'll be for my second heart. For this one, I think I want all of them. I'm going to put the smallest flower here and the largest, and then just kind of go around, just kind of placing them. I don't know. Yeah, so just play around with it and place it and see if you need another flower. The first time I placed them, I definitely needed another flower, and I think this time I'm going to need another flower too. Yep, one more and it'll be perfect. Obviously right now it looks like a circle just because I, you know, that's how I was laying them down. So go ahead and punch out your 3 more flowers. Do the same process, or 3 more scallop circles, and do the same process to make another flower. Sorry, my mouse was in the way that whole time. Okay, so I decided to use hot glue. You can use, you know, whatever adhesive that you like. And I decided to go ahead and use the smallest flower I could find. And I want that right here for the middle. Okay. I'm just going to put that one kind of slightly down. So you can still get the heart shape. So just kind of, I don't know if you can really see that. There we go. Just so you can still kind of see that heart shape when you're done. So now I'm just going to go around. I picked this one for the bottom, so I hope that one works. I don't necessarily want to glue that just yet. Please be careful with your hot glue. You don't want to lose a fingerprint. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I lost my fingerprint up there, and it never heals from a hot glue. You can see that, yeah. From a hot glue incident like 20 years ago. So, yeah, be careful. Don't be reckless. All right, so I'm just going to continue going around, and you're going to do your half flower, or half flower, half heart, or full heart, or 2 flowers, 3 flowers, you know, whatever design you want. Just kind of shaping them as I go, getting rid of any of these strings, glue strings. Those are my biggest pet peeve. So I'm just going to continue on with gluing my flowers down. Okay, so I ended up needing yet another flower. Of course, because I put everything away. So it was just the same exact process. I punched out 3 flowers. I wet them, I crumpled them, I smoothed them, staple in the middle, crumple, crumple, smooth, smooth, and we'll fluff, and then add it on there. So yeah, you need, so I used 12 flowers. I thought I was only going to need 10, but I ended up needing 12. So you probably need 12, or depending if you use bigger ones, you know, you're going to need less. If you use smaller ones, you're going to need more. So that's pretty much all you're going to do for these flowers, and just go around and, you know, make it look really nice. And then next up, what you're going to do is take your solid base, and you're going to glue your picture to your solid base. And I don't know which glue I'm going to use just yet. You know what? I want this flower to be turned, just so I can kind of get in there. So you're just going to play with it and get it how you like it. And then glue your picture to your base. Well, first I'm going to get my shaker bits ready. Determine which shaker bits I want to use. And then we'll glue our picture. So before I do all that, I'm going to actually take some shimmer mist, and I made this myself with some shimmer paint and alcohol. And I'm going to go ahead and shimmer mist my flowers and let that dry. So all I'm going to do is just spritz this around it, set it aside, let it completely dry. Okay, so I got my picture prepped. I had a couple of different pictures, and I decided to go with this one. Yes, it is a little bit too small, but when you put your shaker frame on, you won't see that at all. So I'm going to use just regular wet glue to glue my picture on. I honestly, I don't know if you can use hot glue on a picture. I don't know. So I'm not going to do it because I printed these off in my little home printer. Now I'm only going to go around the edges because I don't want my glue lines to show through the front of the picture. So all I did was just trace, actually I traced this one on the outside line, so I make sure I have the correct size picture, and now I'm just going to line it up, and I'm going to make sure the edges are completely sealed because you don't want any of your shaker bits to shake out or go underneath the picture. So there you go. So I'm just going to add that, and I'm just going to get a cloth to wipe off my fingerprints here. Get that glue down there. Let that completely dry. I'll give it like 5 minutes or so. And then once that's completely dry and you know it's not going to come off, flip it over and cut off any excess that you obviously I didn't line it up perfectly, or didn't cut it perfectly, one or the other, and that's fine. So once it's dry, do that. Okay, so I am going to actually go ahead and hot glue this on top, so hopefully it does not ruin my picture. I don't think it will, but I mean, if it does, it'll just be the edges, which is fine. Let me get my mat over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and, oh my gosh, my glue doesn't want to glue. Okay, you have one job here. Yeah, I don't know what's up with my hot glue. honestly, it's been on for a long time, so it is super hot. It may be too hot for this. Well, we're about to find out. Okay. I'll pull all of those strings off when I'm done here. Oh no, I didn't line it up. Alright, so I kinda missed and now there's a lot of glue. Hopefully I can pull this off. Alright. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I will clean that all up and whatnot. I'm not going to worry that I didn't line it up perfectly since the top part is the flowers and that's going to cover up any of that. But I am going to clean up any strings, hot glue strings, or any like chunks that you can kind of see there. I'll clean all that up. And then you're going to glue your second frame on top of that to give you your height for your shaker bits. So I'll do that in a second. So I got my picture on my 2 frames. Now I did a little experiment because I knew my flowers were going to cover the frame. I just kind of experimented to see if I could put a layer of hot glue around the edges to kind of make it look like bark. And I thought it turned out really cute. So it looks like bark, maybe not in the camera, but in real life it does. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, it's always fun to experiment, especially when you know that you can hide it if it goes wrong. So I thought it came out pretty cool. All right, so now I'm going to make sure I don't have any hot glue strings, and I'm going to put in my shaker bits. I'm going to do some gold, some pinks, some reds. You can put whatever mix you want in there. Okay, so I got my shaker bits in and I got it all sealed off. So because there are little glitter hearts in there, you can kind of see, it kind of covers your face, but then you can kind of play a little game. If you take the sequins and the little balls and kind of just go around, it will sweep all of those hearts down to the bottom. So look at that. You have a game, a shaker, an ornament, everything all in one. I found this trim in my stash and I thought it was going to look super cool on this shaker. So I'm just adding that right on the sides, because after I did my glue fake bark, I decided I'm going to add this well, I think I'm going to add this to another project, and so I need it to be perfect on the sides, and so I'm just going to add some trim that I think is going to look cool, and then I will decide if I want to add anything on the front, maybe like our last name, or this was actually the picture we were in Greece, so maybe I'll add like, you know, the date or something on there. But first I just want to get this trim on there. I want it to be absolutely gorgeous, which I think it is. I love these little triangle, kind of looks like spikes a little bit. Yes, I think that's super cool. Oh no, just stuck my hand in hot glue. And I'm going to have 1,000 strings. Okay. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool to, let me snip this and find some scissors. I'll glue that down in a second. But you could even, if you wanted to, make kind of like a little banner across. Oh, I do like that. And maybe with like the date or something across that. I don't want to go across our faces, but like, you know, like a little thing right here with a little banner or something. I don't know, whatever you want to do. My recommendation though is not to use glitter. Or if you do glitter, make sure you run a dryer sheet over your picture. I completely forgot, or over your acrylic. I completely forgot to do that, but there you go, guys. I hope you love this. This shaker is for sale on the Clear Scraps website, and I will put a direct link in the description box so you can go straight there and buy 2 or 3 or 5 of them. I kind of want some more to go with my other pictures here. I think it would be really cute if I had just a collage of these with different color flowers. I think it'd be really cute. But all right, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.